Most bands need like a big key change or a big stylistic or tempo change or breakdown to really drive the listener into a new section. But somehow, Tool are able to do that with one note. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lone University. Today, it is time for more Tool. You guys have been asking for it. I've done Schism. I've done The Pot. Now we're taking it back to Ænima, released in 1996. This is the first studio album to feature Justin Chancellor on bass. We're going to be checking out 46 and 2 today. And just 5 months ago, Rolling Stone ranked this song as number 53 in the 100 greatest heavy metal songs of all time. Want to dive into it. I'm familiar with this intro, but it's been a very, very long time since I've heard the rest of the song. This will be a nice refresher. Let's do it. Tool, 46 and 2. Already sounding psychedelic. Love the chorus on this bass riff. Nice mix of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Oh yeah, 2 different time signatures here. Focusing on the guitar one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Sounds like 7/8 against 4/4 on the bass. Now we're all in 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. 4/4 tag on the end there. Okay, so I think anybody that's listened to rock and metal has heard this bass intro, including me. It's just the rest of the song. It's been a long time. So we start out in 4/4. This has the classic Tool bass intro that is setting up the rest of the song. It's providing the meat and potatoes, and everything kind of builds on top of it, just kind of like The Pot and kind of like Schism, the other two I've done. But the hallmark of Justin's playing is a good mix of hammer-ons and pull-offs, and really giving the bass line that swagger, right? It's not all picked. We're kind of in the D minor scale, but I'm hearing those kind of like Phrygian Dominant things, which give it that kind of Eastern sound. And I believe he's kind of playing it with the open D string and then doing the fretted notes up on the G string. I think that's right from my memory if it serves me correctly, but we're basically just going up that D minor scale. Then we're adding that major third in there that kind of gives it that. So that's a Phrygian Dominant sound. The whole scale would kind of be like. And as I talked about in the Rush YYZ video, this also uses the Phrygian Dominant. It is kind of a happy medium between a major scale and a harmonic minor scale. It's like the two had a baby. It's kind of not dark, but it's not light either, and just has a little bit of tension and rub. We'll come back to how this scale is used in the rest of the song as it goes on. But those mix of hammer-ons and pull-offs are what's giving it that kind of swagger that's kind of smooth sounding. And it's kind of changing here as well. That's interesting. It's weird to hear that F major going on there. Right here. That's D7. Kind of F major, which is really interesting. So, doing this pedal tone thing the whole time with that open D string, it's kind of implying again that we're going back down to the C here. So it's really playing on that intervallic, if that's even a word, nature of the F sharp and the F. So in a D minor scale, there's no F sharp. The normal D minor scale is an F natural. And they're creating that F major off of that chord. But I'm hearing this F sharp coming a lot, and they're kind of just ebbing and flowing between the two, giving it a little tension here and a little color there. And it's really interesting because hearing that F sharp makes me think it might be D major, but there's no major chords in Tool songs, rarely. It's very dark and minor. So they're kind of going back to that F major to remind you that it's in D minor, really. They're just playing with the accidentals and giving those little touches of tension. Still sticking on that same bass riff, building. Tool does this every time. 2 minutes in, it's just now hitting. They make you wait for it. I've said this in the other videos, but it's just a great slow build. They don't come right out of the gate, very rarely. Some songs do. But this one has just circled the drain. You know, we started off with a bass intro in 4/4, then the guitar riff was in like 7/8, kind of picking up different notes and kind of rubbing against it. And then when it all kicks in on a time like this, here at 2 minutes and 4 seconds, it's like it all makes sense now. That's just, you know, this is the least album I'm familiar with. You know, I'm most familiar with Lateralis and 10,000 Days, Opiate, Undertow, Ænima. Not so much, but they clearly have established that hallmark of their sound very early on. Woo. Ooh. Great dynamics there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now they're doing that same like dun 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 variation on that riff. And they add the little tag at the end with a 4/4, just kind of wrap it all up and just kind of keep it interesting. Ooh. Okay, the bass has changed a little bit here. So they've added in 2 chords now. I'm trying to hear, it's mixed so perfectly where there's a lot of singularity in the guitar and bass. And as Tool always do, the bass and the guitar can just swap roles at any time during the song. I think that's what makes them such a homogenous band. It's kind of like anybody can do anything. I've said this before. Maynard's voice is just like another instrument. The bass can be the lead. The guitar can be the bass line. Danny Carey can start playing melodies at any given time. So you got to like really pay attention where you're at. But they're adding in this F sort of tonality at the bass, and they're going to a G, which has not happened yet. And they've really brought this on subtly. So it's really interesting, and I think the bass line is slowly evolving from the normal. And a couple times it's back to that 7 theme. So now that the song has taken off a little bit and gotten some legs on it, what I'm noticing is that they're still playing around with that F sharp or F, depending on how they want to color the progression. So when the F sharp came in at the beginning, it was playing off of that more scale-like Phrygian Dominant sound I talked about. That F sharp is not in the key of D minor. But now that the chorus comes in and they go down to that open D, now that F sharp is making the D major. So it's giving it a whole different type of color. You know, most bands need like a big key change or a big stylistic or tempo change or breakdown to really drive the listener into a new section. But somehow, Tool are able to do that with one note. It's really evident here, and the way the composition is so singular in a way that the subtle change of that one note is like, it's a whole different purpose. So now that we have this kind of major sound in the chorus, my shadow, it's got that D major sound. You know, we haven't heard that yet. That F sharp was used differently before. I'm going to go back and kind of hear that come in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of between 7 and 4. Trying to hear what's going on there. It's subtle. F. key. When it hits there, it's major. Really cool. That F sharp again was used so differently before. Again, Tool just need one note to kind of change it all up, go into a different section. They really haven't gone away from these same 6 notes. It's really mind-blowing. It's like the art of simplicity, but it's delivered so subtly complicated. I love it. There's always some nuance in this band to really dive into as many times as I've heard some of their songs. Really interesting accents here. This is different. Ooh. Oh, I love that. Minor second or major seconds, then to minor seconds. Kind of sounds like they're going that interval there. So just a major third on the guitar. This is that kind of droning thing. Minor third, major second. Kind of going down the scale there. Does little bits of tension put in there, just are building to something else. I know they always end with an epic ending, and I don't quite remember how it goes. So let's get there. Oh yeah, I think it's this drum solo. It's coming back to me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Back to the 7 riff. Interesting thing here before it goes to the next section. You can kind of hear it sounds like Justin's actually picking each note now. Whereas before, it kind of had more of this hammer-on, pull-off, smooth thing. Almost more metronome-like. So if I recall, they're setting up an ostinato here. An ostinato just means a repeating musical phrase where something new can come in over it, and that becomes in the background more or less. And the way Justin and Adam are picking this part kind of is more metronome-like. It's like they're setting up the tempo and the framework for Danny Carey to come in and rip some drums. Let me get there. Yeah. It's coming back. I'm not even going to try to bob my head. Ugh. That triplet thing. Man, what a guy, Danny Carey. I can make a whole nother video on him. I don't even play drums. Yeah, so they set up the ostinato in 7. And you know, like, going into a drum solo, you know, sure, you could have a 4-chord progression in 4/4 for a drum solo to happen or a drum feature. But instead here, Adam and Justin are acting like a 7/8 metronome just for Danny Carey to practice to. It's pretty crazy. I mean, doing something like that, he's going over the bar line. I hear lots of like triplet, duple meter stuff, kind of pushing the meter. I want to go back and point out that one part that really just made me laugh because it was so freaking good. All right, time for Danny Carey to practice in 7/8. This is probably his average practice session. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. He brings the time back for a second there. That good. Oh. adding in a B flat there too. I don't remember that chord from before. So we started off again, once again, very D-based, Phrygian Dominant. Then slowly we added that. Probably need to turn that chorus off because it just seems like it's part of the intro. So now they're adding that B flat, which I haven't really heard before. It's kind of a slightly new color introduced on the palette board for the painting, right? Tool are really great at taking like 3 or 4 colors and doing so much variety with such little to use. And when they add like that 4th color in, it just can recontextualize everything they've done before. And that's what I mean this whole video when I'm saying they can just add one note and kind of change the whole way the song's delivered, or give a new spin on it, or add new context to it. That's kind of what I'm hearing here with just that simple 6 chord put in there. Right there. Bringing this back. Whoa. Real quick on that ending. Those imperfections, you can hear the strings scraping. You can kind of hear the little push and pull that some of the downbeats are a little flammed. Somebody's like a split second early, but you know what? That unhindered sound adds to the energy and emotion. You know, if those breaks were really edited in the studio with like really clean breaks, it would almost sound too robotic. It would almost sound too together. But this is the pinnacle of the song. And this is the epitome of delivering emotion and art. You know, it doesn't have to be clean. It needs to be kind of raw and unhindered and a little intense. This is Tool's way of expressing emotion in their compositions. I think it's really important. You know, they're such a precise and technical band that when they leave something a little kind of garage band sounding, and I don't mean that negatively, it's still very lively feeling, that is the emotion they're conveying. The vocals are done. There's no more vocals, so they got to just add something in for that emotive effect. And this is the ending of the song. It's the climax. And I think things like that are very intentional to deliver a feeling to you. I want to go back and kind of listen to that one more time. A little flam there. It said all it needs to say right there. That was a fantastic listen. Again, I'm mostly familiar with Lateralis 10,000 Days, so Ænima, Undertow, I know a few songs, and I know this bass intro, but that was really great to listen to the song with a critical ear and really pick up on those subtle things they just sprinkle in over the composition. You don't even realize it's happening, but it allowed that bass line to evolve the whole song. The kind of 7 and 4 motif remained the same throughout the song, but Justin would put the bass line on a different string for a bar or kind of reorient the notes, and those subtleties are what give Tool the depth of composition, where a lot of people go, oh, the Tool songs, they all sound the same. You're not listening. You need to like really listen, put on some headphones. Don't listen passively. This is not really a band to listen to passively, because passively, if you're just scratching the surface, yeah, all grass is going to look green, but you got to dig up the soil and see what's underneath. Whole nother ecosystem down there in the ground. Whole nother ecosystem down there under the hood of all Tool songs. They're not going to come in with some prog circus music section. It's just not what they do. They're going to just make these subtle changes, and it's like seeing if you're paying attention. And if you are, then you get it. And again, this is one of an earlier albums. This was back in the mid-90s, and they've already kind of established the art of that subtlety. Very important thing they do, and it's just a common thread between everything they've done. The last album I have to cover from this band is either ones before that, Opiate, Undertow, or we should go forward to do Fear Inoculum. So let me know which songs I should do from there. But this was a blast checking it out. 46 and 2 by Tool off of their album Ænima. Really great to refamiliarize myself with it. And thank you guys so much once again. Cheers. Until next time.